Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the JP Football Podcast. I'm your host, of course, Josh. And um, if I don't seem all too enthusiastic or I'm not in the best, happiest mood, it's because Everton lost. And every time Everton lose, I'm not going to be happy, not going to be in, the best of moods. Although, I will get over it eventually, just like I assume the majority of Evertonian fans will get over it eventually. But yeah, Aston Villa 3, Everton 0. My match prediction score coming into this was 2-2. And one of the people that I thought was going to score against us ended up scoring against us, which it's annoying. It's frustrating. It's a disheartening result. It really is a disheartening result. It's our first loss of the season. And look, I get it. You can't win all of them. You're going to lose some throughout the season. But to lose in the fashion that we lost today, because every single goal that Aston Villa scored today, by the way, was just an absolute defensive breakdown. Like, we were in absolute disarray, shambles, and could have been prevented. It's not like they scored any like world beaters, really, or I assume Villa fans will argue that Matty Cash had a absolute worldie, but no, I mean, it was just a really good shot by a really poor defensive display from Everton. We're just going to jump right into it because I don't really want to, I don't like talking about Everton when they lose, but let's just have to expose and talk about what the hell went on today. So here was our starting lineup for today, right? Sky Sports said it was a 3-4-3, which okay, could have been, but I know we played a back four at some points during the game with, I assume, 4 midfielders, potentially a fifth, and then a forward or two up front. So we had Asmir Begovic in goal already. Jordan Pickford apparently is out with a shoulder injury, which could take 2 to 3 weeks. But look, going into this match, I actually wasn't worried at all about Begovic because Premier League experience, and he's a good backup goalkeeper, and he can do a job. Although today I thought he probably could have done better on 1 or 2 of the goals, but he had a really, really good save early on. So I'm not going to say too much about Begovic, but he was in goal, which I was like, all right, that's whatever, that's fine. Then you had Lucas Dean, left back, Ben Godfrey is the right back, which again just goes to show, even though Ben Godfrey is not a right back, he's a center back. Again, this just goes to show the level and the quality of how much he's better than John Joe Kenny, because it seems like Rafa Benitez does not trust John Joe Kenny to start a game unless it's a Carabao Cup match. All right. Which I agree with, because John Joe Kenny, what has he actually proven, right? He hasn't necessarily really proven anything, whereas Ben Godfrey had. So that was fine. Yerry Mina as a center back, Michael Keane in center back as well. Again, that's fine. Michael Keane has been, all right. Yerry Mina has been pretty much our best defender. That makes sense. Again, I would rather have Michael Keane and Yerry Mina than Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate. Would rather have that. All right. Then, the midfield, you had Alex Iwobi, who played, centrally at times and like a bit out wide. Again, probably the best option we could play. Then you had Andros Townsend out on, the right wing. He was playing on the wing. And then the 2 midfielders, Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré, who you absolutely, there's no replacement good enough for them. Tom Davis not at that level. John Philippe Gbamin nowhere near that level. So it's a good thing those 2 were there, because it would have been a lot worse, I think, if one of them 2 didn't play today. So that was a midfield. And then, Damari Gray, he played wide and central as well. He was up. And then Salomon Rondon started because, obviously with DCL's injury and whatnot. But as you can tell, no Richarlison today, which is why Iwobi replaced him. I don't know what Richarlison's injury is. I really don't. But apparently He's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Again, I'm not even sure what the injury is, but the rumor is he's also going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. And then, oh, by the way, if you're wondering why Ben Godfrey's starting at right back and not Seamus Coleman, because Seamus Coleman is also injured. And apparently that's another 2 to 3 weeks. So we have 4 key players that are out with injury for potentially 2 to 3 weeks. In every single position, might I add. Every single position. Goalkeeper, defender. Okay, I know Richarlison can play as a winger, but he could also drop as like a mid if necessary. So technically speaking, that. But, forward with Calvert-Lewin as well. That's damn near every like position in soccer: defense, goalkeeper, midfielder, attack. Like it's not looking well, folks. Not looking well. And by the way, I blame Tarkowski from Burnley. I blame Tarkowski because the challenges that he was throwing in on Richarlison last game were absolutely horrific and dreadful, and he should have been carded at least once. Should have, but he wasn't. So great. But yeah, no. So the first half, Salomon Rondon had an absolutely glorious chance in the first half. Ball was played into him in the box, and he takes a touch and shoots. The defender gets a boot to it. It goes out for a corner. But honestly, Rondon should, in my opinion, he should have hit that first time. Try to hit it first time, have a go. He's right there, and he doesn't. And then he had another chance where I believe Damari Gray crosses the ball in, and he tries to slide to get there, but the ball was a little bit too ahead of him, and he doesn't have the pace to, get his boot on the end of it. So, there you go. And again, it just shows the level that, Calvert-Lewin has, and he's such a big miss. And look, I thought that Rondon, even though he missed that chance, I thought Rondon was okay today. He was fine. He was holding up play every now and then, but he just wasn't fit, okay? I think it was pretty clear to a lot of Evertonians that Salomon Rondon wasn't fit today, which makes sense because he hasn't been at the club for a long time. So what do you expect? But, first half goes on. Begovic makes an absolutely great save off of a corner. Header comes in. He saves it. So, that gave me more confidence to back him. But again, the first half, I thought we were fine. I thought it was actually much better than the Burnley first half. We came out, again, we created a couple chances. We were defending fine. Yerry Mina was doing great as well. I thought Yerry Mina was our best defender today, by the way. Definitely. And, Villa tried to create something. But again, we were just trying to get in the flow of things in the first half. And again, nothing really happened. And then John McGinn for Villa, he came off with a concussion injury. And apparently, according to new rules, if a player goes off due to concussion protocol injury, each team is actually allowed a 4th sub. So cool that we made 4 subs today. Then second half, I thought we came out just a tad bit slow, but then we started getting into it. And then in like the 65th, 64th minute, we made a really good build-up play, really good move. We got Damari Gray the ball, and Damari Gray shoots it, and he misses. He just misses. Tried to curl it in for placement. Goalkeeper was beaten, but he just misses it, unfortunately. And that was honestly like one of the last biggest chances we had at the game. Excuse me, sorry. Because Damari Gray misses it. And then literally a minute or two later, Villa get the ball. They're connecting passes. They're pushing, getting numbers forward. And I don't know what the hell Lucas Dean is doing, okay? Like, he gets shrugged off. Like, he throws in a challenge on Matty Cash, but it seems like even like a half challenge, like he tries to pull him back and he let him go. Look, Lucas Dean, you cannot be beaten by Matty Cash, okay? You can't let a player like Matty Cash beat you. All right. Matty Cash isn't even like Matty Cash is like an average footballer. All right. You play for the France national team on international break and are probably their number 1 left back against an average player like Matty frickin' Cash. But no, he doesn't. Lucas Dean does whatever the hell he did. And then Matty Cash, he cuts it in on his left boot and he smashes it in the back of the net. And it's literally like a minute after Damari Gray just missed. We couldn't take our chance, and then Villa completely capitalized on it. And it's frustrating. It's annoying. It's completely avoidable. And, I heard an Evertonian say today as well, by the way, one of the commentators said that Matty Cash had never scored for Aston Villa. So, of course, that was going to be the game. He's going to score his first ever goal for Villa against Everton. I mean, for Christ's sake, man. And then the wheels came off. We just completely capitulated. Our defense just fell apart. The wheels fell off. What we did to Burnley in those 6 minutes with 3 goals, Villa did to us in like 10 minutes, pretty much. We were on the other end of it. Because then Matty Cash does that. And then eventually Villa, they're getting on a roll. They sub on Leon Bailey. Oh, by the way, when I saw Leon Bailey come on the pitch, I just knew. And I said it in my pre-match. If Leon Bailey comes on as a substitute for Aston Villa, he's going to score. He's going to get a goal against Everton. He's going to be involved somehow. And he was involved immediately, injecting pace into the side, a little bit of creativity. And, Villa win a corner and Leon Bailey whips the ball. And by the way, it's a beautiful corner. He crosses in an absolutely beautiful ball. And, Lucas Dean, it's unlucky. He gets it. Lucas Dean heads it back, trying to clear it, but he heads it into the back of his own net. Begovic is caught in no man's land. There's nothing Begovic could have done. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he could have come out for it. I don't know. It was a really good ball in, but again, it's avoidable though. If you just look, I don't know, guys. I think it's a bit avoidable, but Begovic, he don't come for the ball. Lucas Dean heads it into the back of his own net. And it just made his day a whole lot worse. Lucas Dean was one of the worst players on the pitch for Everton today. Ben Godfrey being the second, but Ben Godfrey could have been first as well. All right. Because after that goal, the own goal that Lucas Dean got, Alan gave the ball away in the middle of the pitch. And I forgot, I don't know if it was Douglas Luiz or who else, but they had pretty much a one-on-one with Begovic and they shot it wide. And that could have been catastrophic. But it ended up being catastrophic anyway, because then, we're pushing numbers forward, right? But then Villa get back on the ball, so we're trying to reorganize, get back in defense. And I don't know what the hell Ben Godfrey was thinking. I don't know what he was doing. He was so pushed in on one side of the pitch. Leon Bailey is completely by himself on the other side of the pitch. No bullshit. Leon Bailey is completely by himself with all the space in the world. And Ben Godfrey is nowhere near him. Ben Godfrey is way over here. And all Danny Ings has to do is play one through ball in and we're fucked. And that's exactly what he does. Danny Ings pings it out wide for Leon Bailey. He gets on it. He's fresh. He comes out of sub. He has pace. He's running. He goes directly on goal to Begovic, and he just smashes it past Begovic, and it's 3-0. What the hell, Ben Godfrey? What was that? That was probably the worst goal we conceded, because it's so avoidable. All you have to do is check your shoulder, see where Leon Bailey is, and shift over there, and a couple of your defenders will shift as well. But no, he's way up here. Way up here. Gift. An absolute gift. And then Leon Bailey actually got subbed off like a couple minutes later because he seemed to have picked up an injury. I mean, come on. So Leon Bailey comes on, 20 or so minutes, then gets subbed off because he's injured, because he picked up something, and he contributed more than it's so Everton. It is so Everton that. And you know what? When he made it 3-0, I knew we weren't. I mean, when it was 2-0, we weren't getting back in it, but 3 was just like the icing on the cake for them. Awful defending. Awful defending. No. If I had to pick out bright spots, I thought Townsend was good today. Townsend was fine. Decore was doing his thing today. He was a machine. 1 ball's back for us. He was fine. And then even though Damari Gray missed that chance, that I actually thought Damari Gray was quite fine today. He's one of our most entertaining players to watch at the moment. Those 3 for me were if I had to pick a couple players that were positives actually good, it would be those three for me. But yeah, look, our bench was awful. Okay. Our bench was awful. But here's the thing. There's absolutely nothing that Rafa Benitez could have done to put out a better side today. The side that he put out today was the best possible Everton side we could have put out today. All right. Because our bench it's one of the worst benches I've seen in a long time. All right. Just pretty much no squad depth whatsoever. Andre Gomez come on for Rondon because, Rondon wasn't that fit. And Gomez, he had a few passes here or there. He had a shot, but he didn't really. I mean, he was doing his job. That's all I can say. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Anthony Gordon come on, didn't do anything. John Joe Kenny came on at one point, didn't do anything. And then last but not least, Tom Davis came on, didn't do anything. None of our subs actually really did anything that really influenced the game in a positive fashion for us. Like nothing. And James Rodriguez didn't make the bench today. Didn't even make the bench. And look, I know it's frustrating for Evertonians. I know it's frustrating. People asking, where's James Rodriguez? Where's James? Look, there's obviously something that Rafa Benitez is seeing at training that we're not. And the only explanation must be James Rodriguez is literally just not working that hard, or there's a lack of passion. There's a lack of something, or he would at least be making the bench, right? So for people saying, why isn't James on the bench? Why isn't he starting? Look, that's on James Rodriguez, right? Like it's probably because of what the gaffer sees at training and what he's doing and what he's not doing. All right. And at this point in time, again, if James don't make the bench for QPR and he doesn't make the bench for Norwich and he's fit, then that really confirms and says to me, like, you've kind of given up in a sense and you really don't want to be here because you should be making the bench because our bench is not good. You should be making the bench. So yeah, that's that. But again, it's only our first defeat of the season. And, defeat's a defeat. We got to get back to it. We got to put this loss behind us already. We have a match against QPR in the Carabao Cup coming up, which is extremely important. It's very, very important. And it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be at their ground. It's not going to be an easy game. It's just not. So, yeah. Onwards then. On to the next one. And I just want to give a big shout out, by the way, to the San Diego Toffees that I've met up with. This is the second time I went to a pub. It's called The Harp, and where I've met more Evertonian fans from, obviously, San Diego, hence San Diego Toffees, Evertonians. It was awesome watching the game with them today, even though Everton didn't win. It was a lot of fun. So shout out to you, San Diego Toffees, who are watching this right now. And, thanks to whoever got me this San Diego Toffees scarf right here. This is really, really cool. Really, really cool Everton scarf. Yeah, I really like it a lot. So yeah, that was really cool. I'm definitely bringing this to every match I watch. But yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be all. If you like this video, please hit the like button. It only takes a second. And subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your bell notifications, so you don't miss a video. And again, if you like it, please continue to spread the word about the JP Football Podcast. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, we got a new couple subscribers today, which is just fantastic. You guys are awesome. Also, leave in the comments below your thoughts on the game if you saw it. Or, of course, if you want me to talk about other clubs, certain players, leave that in the comments below as well. And I'll be more than happy to do that in the next video. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one. And until next time.